Couldn't be more deserving. You got me cloud surfing, cloud surfing, cloud surfing. You got me.
Well, welcome back to LoveHers 808 Podcast. My name is Ms. M to the Z to the Z.
And I am Lordine Jean-Francois.
Jean-Francois. You speak French.
Oui, oui. You're starting already.
Come on. We always on go. So, yes. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube. We're live on YouTube right now, and we're live on Instagram right now. Okay, so subscribe. Click the link in the bio to our link tree, and you can subscribe to our YouTube. So today's time, what are we talking about today, baby?
We are talking about 10 signs. The 10 signs, that you are dating a narcissist.
What?
Mm-hmm. Top 10 signs.
Top 10 signs that you may be dating a narcissist.
Yeah, you want to know these signs. You definitely want to keep an eye out because the narcissism is running rampant in these streets. Okay, what's the statistic? 1 in 5, right?
One out of five.
One out of 5 people
are narcissists. Right?
Wow.
And see, so how did we come up with this topic? Well, I've heard of narcissism before.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I just was thinking it was kind of like a one thing, like a one type way that a person would be. And basically I was just thinking that it's someone who always pretty much needs to be the center of attention.
Right. Always in the limelight. Yeah.
Right.
Spotlight. Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty much, just thinking and kind of selfish in a way because of that. But I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot, for personal development. And I listen to a lot of Audible books, right? Mainly focusing on personal development and how to get to these riches, right?
Absolutely.
So, and which requires a lot of personal development, which we are discovering, right?
Yes, it's all part of the game. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I was listening to, I love Lewis Howes. I think I'm saying his name right.
Yep. School of Greatness, his
podcast. Check it out, right?
Really dope.
Always listen to his stuff. And he had a therapist that was on there. Her name was, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. What was it? Romani. Maybe I thought I wrote it down. Remember, baby? I can look it up, but I know it's Romani, but I'm gonna look up her last name so that you guys can see. But I'm sure if you just go to that interview, Lewis Howes, School of Greatness, Narcissist, dating a narcissist, look up that interview. And that's the one that kind of sparked this discussion. And I was just blown away. I listened to that thing about 3-4 times. Because as I'm listening, I'm like, woo!
Yeah.
I have experienced this.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it. I did not know. And I think that when when we like to share certain information because it may be it may help you.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it definitely would have helped me. Yeah. But
it's great that you can laugh at it.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah,
definitely. You got to. And it's everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I read in one of the people's comments that were on that particular podcast, and they mentioned that if you find yourself dating a narcissist, it is a signal from the universe that you need to love yourself more.
Indeed.
And I received that.
Yeah.
Because I receive it. It resonates. And that is something pretty much coming out of that situation. I came to the realization that I need to love myself more.
Yeah.
I needed to learn how to love myself. Because I wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
And I needed to make myself a priority. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And so
Yeah.
here we are.
Here we are.
You know what I mean?
We are. Yeah, indeed. And it is one of those things that, you know, when we're in it, we don't realize it, right? Sometimes it's not until we come out of a situation, learn new information. What is it? Hindsight is 2020.
Hindsight is 2020,
right?
man.
When you're looking back and you're hearing about these signs and you're putting it all together, you know, it's really eye opening. You know, I told you, I realized. So, baby, you share the video with me, and I had to listen to it.
Totally.
I couldn't stop listening to it because I mean, everything she shared was just like really mind blowing, you know. And so I thought back to my relationships and realized that the last relationship that I was in prior to this relationship, I was with a narcissist, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I just knew that we were in two different spaces, you know, vibrationally. I mean, she was just. And we'll get into the top 10 signs, but she fit every last one on this list. And it wasn't until watching that video you shared with me that I realized that. And I'm just so glad. Yes,
wild, right?
Thank you. And I'm so glad that I left that situation when I did, you know, not even knowing what that was, but knowing that it wasn't where I wanted to be.
Because you knew I was coming.
I knew you were on the way. I had to clear the space.
Clear the space, babe. Clear the space. But I looked up the doctor's name, and her name is Dr. Romani Durvasula. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. But check that. And she's like an expert in narcissism. An expert therapist. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so realization was mind-blowing. And why is this important? It's so important because love is essential, right? In terms of our basic human needs, we all want to feel connected. Not only do we want to feel connected, but we need to, right? Love is yes, it's a desire, but it really is a need, right? Because we're relational beings. And so because relationships are just such a huge aspect of who we are, it is important to know when you're dealing with someone who doesn't have the capacity to love you the way that you deserve to be loved, right?
That's deep.
It is. It's really important. And so that's why we're sharing these 10 signs today, because we've both experienced it, and we want to make sure that the members of our community are aware, you know, of the signs so that you can, you know, put yourselves first and, like baby say, realize how not only worthy you are of love, but that you are love.
Yeah.
Right?
And say it with us as we affirm.
Yes.
I am worthy.
Yes,
I am worthy. 3 times. I am worthy.
I am worthy.
And also, I am deserving.
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 I am
As we
deserving.
affirm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Because, you know, a lot of us are waking up to that realization that we are worthy.
Yeah,
We are deserving. And how you don't have to settle. You know what I mean? You don't have to settle. And when you make yourself a priority and you love yourself the way you want to be loved, and all the things that you're looking for in a partner, when you become that, you will attract that. So whatever you say you want in a partner, you need to be that. You know what I'm saying? And every time we experience contrast, and we experience, you know, difficulty, that is the universe signaling to you, you know, and kind of magnifying some of the things that we need to change within ourselves. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why it's so important for us to acknowledge all of our emotions, right? Because our emotions provide valuable information, right? Especially what we call unpleasant or negative emotion. What that means oftentimes is that we're not our behaviors or the choices that we're making are not really aligning with the true nature of who we are, right? And so, for example, when we're in relationships that are undeserving of us, right? Many of us will experience hurt and pain and sadness, but we would stuff those emotions down or try to talk ourselves out of feeling what we're feeling or convince ourselves to stay, even though we're feeling these feelings that are telling us, right, that the decision that we're making to be where we are is not in our best interest, right? But our feelings are always giving us valuable information. So you want to make sure you're open to feeling those feelings so you can then make the necessary choices that are in alignment with just how amazing you are, right? In alignment with your deservingness of love, true connection, respect, empathy, reciprocity, all of those things that you'll find in a healthy, mutually supportive relationship. Yeah.
Well, let's begin.
Haven't we already?
With the top 10.
With the top
10 signs.
Top 10 signs.
What's the number one? Well, we're not going to list them in like any type of order of priority, importance, right?
Okay.
So we're just going to, call out some signs. So what's one sign you would say?
Oh my God. One sign I would say. Woo! Ooh, there are just so many. Where do I want to start? All right. Okay, top sign number one that you're dating a narcissist is that they are always the victim.
Damn. You went there.
I did. Right for the juggler.
Right for the juggler.
Yeah. They are always the victim. And what does this look like? Blame, blame, blame. Okay, it's everybody else's fault. I didn't do anything wrong. No accountability. They are no accountability whatsoever. It's not me, it's you. Right? And so what the effect of that, what that does in a relationship is if someone's not taking accountability, if they're always the victim, then they will never change. Right? There's no reason for them to change their behavior if they don't think that they've done anything to contribute to the conflict, to the tension in the relationship, right? So I would say that's the one we're gonna start with. Number one, okay?
Yeah,
always the victim. It's always somebody else's fault.
And with that victim mentality, it's like the world is always against them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
In any situation, it was them, it was the others against them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that whole mindset. So I would say the next one would be.
What you going with?
Let me see.
What you going with?
Oh man.
What you got?
The constant seeking of admiration and validation. Admiration and validation seeking. Like always.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like always needs validation. Always, is just seeking that admiration. And like to the point where if someone is not in admiration of them, or they're not validating them, then that person or whoever that situation, whatever that brought about, they could be seen as like, hating.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or they're, once again, the victim mentality. They are against them. You know what I'm saying? Because you aren't admiring me and you're not validating me.
Yeah,
you know
showering me with words of affirmation and compliments and
so like that. And then if someone is not doing that, then they could be seen as the enemy. You know what I mean?
Wow,
like
that's deep. That's deep.
Doesn't have to be the enemy, but I'm just saying, like, you know, the constant need for that admiration
and validation.
And validation is a big one.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I think one of the main misconceptions about narcissists, and Dr. Ramani says this, is people think that narcissists are extremely confident because of the way that they come off, right? The grandiosity, right? The bigness of their personalities and all the things that they do. But as we know, the loudest person in the room, right? Okay, don't need to finish that statement. Y'all know what it is. You know, usually narcissists really are very, very insecure.
Yeah.
They're very, very insecure. And these insecurities oftentimes are associated with past childhood trauma, things of that nature. And so that's a big misconception about narcissists. You don't let the glamour fool you, right?
Yeah.
Underneath the surface is a deep sense of insecurity, which is why when they don't get the validation and the praise,
and
the admiration, they get so upset about it and take it so personally because of the deep level of insecurity that narcissists have.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. It's like the homophobic guy who's like constantly picking on gay guys, right? And just everything is hate, gay, hate, blah blah blah. They're usually the ones that are gay.
Yeah.
You know, and hiding it. Yeah. So it's like they have to put on this you know,
front
facade.
Yeah.
You know, that they're not when they really are.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's that same concept.
Yeah. And the term in psychology, I think it's sublimation. It's like you're portraying the extreme end of what is actually true, you know.
Yeah. So that's deep.
That is deep.
And from what I'm learning too is that, like, a lot, like, you know how we might think when we view a narcissist and we don't know that they're a narcissist that they have all the confidence in the world. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not like something you just spot on can tell. But and usually they make really, really great, like, ruthless business leaders. You know what I'm saying? Because of the constant striving for perfection, which is like a quench that will never be
thirst.
Right.
Be quenched.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A thirst. I said, what is that? A quench that will never...
I got you.
A thirst that will never be quenched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like constant striving for perfection and, you know, demanding of others to basically get in line and follow orders. Because that's another thing that another sign of a narcissist is that they have to control everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything needs to be under their control. You need to be under their control. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because that's key because it makes them feel safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's a false sense of safety.
Absolutely.
Right? It just goes right back to the deep-rooted insecurity. You know? So all that controlling is about really is feeling afraid of being unable to deal with things that don't go their way, right? Which really means feeling unable to handle the emotions that come up as a result of things not going their way. So it really is, again, just about the insecurities and fear.
So we said, well, I just added that one in there.
You did. Let's talk about the rage. Ooh. And this is and this isn't just
be safe.
This isn't anger, okay? Anger
it's more than anger.
is you know a normal emotion. Anger is healthy. It tells you that you need to set boundaries. It communicates that one of your values, you know, may have been violated or may be being violated. But this is rage, like complete like animalistic, like King Godzilla, like rage to the point of, you know, that completely supersedes what the situation calls for.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Completely supersedes what the situation calls for. And nobody's safe. Like nobody's safe. Kids, old people, nobody's safe, right? In the way of this level of rage, right? And so that's a big one, because I think another misconception that we have about like relationships and arguing. I love what is it Stefan speaks or says about you can disagreeing is okay, but the disrespect is not. Yeah. And so we're talking about rage to the point of all out just disrespect. Yeah. Saying whatever, doing whatever.
Total disregard for your feelings.
And just your sense of humanity, like as if you're just insignificant, right? And who you are as a person does not matter at all, right? Hello. Yeah.
It's sad, man.
Yeah.
And that rage is usually because they're easily triggered.
Absolutely.
And another key sign that the doctor talked about when she has her clients come through, and when she said when she hears them say things like, I felt like I was walking on eggshells. Like for her, she does a little deeper with that, because she finds that, that is one of the signs that you're with a narcissist. Not saying every time you walk on eggshells that you're with a narcissist. That's not what I'm saying. But 10 times out of 10, if that person is a narcissist, the people around them feel like they are walking on eggshells. Because you never know what you're going to say that might trigger them, because they're hypersensitive. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which is just another tapping into the insecurities.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So... So that was another one, is the hypersensitivity with the rage.
Talk more about the hypersensitivity. Just really being very easily offended. Easily offended, easily offended.
Because then that goes right back to that whole victim mindset. You know what I'm saying? So feeling like you're the victim because somebody said something, that triggered, a feeling within, and now, you're the victim. What they said, they must have had that intent to hurt them. You know what I mean? So it's like
everything's personal.
Yeah, take everything personal, and it could be to what the other people feel like something small, but it could be that small thing will turn into a huge mountain. And before you know it, it's just a blown out rage, argument, and you're not even sure how you got there. Right. You know what I mean?
That part.
Yeah.
Like what just happened? I didn't say that. What? Did we just have the same experience, or what?
Where did you come from?
Seriously. Yeah. It is pretty insane. And we're joking about it, but it's insane. And that kind of rage is insane. I mean, if you really think about it, for someone to think that it's okay to get to the point of being so enraged that they can take out their anger, their rage on anybody, right? Like that's insanity, right? And how does one even feel safe in that situation? Yeah, you can't. That's why, the walking on eggshells, that feeling of walking on eggshells presents itself, because there's no telling, right? What could happen? Yeah.
And then you become the enemy, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like Because then that's when you get into, love is conditional, right? And the love is conditional based on the conditions that they set, you know what I'm saying, that they have control over. Yeah. And the moment something is out of that control, then the love goes.
Yeah.
Now you're an enemy, and to be destroyed, you know what I'm saying, in a verbal battle or whatever that battle is, you know what I'm saying? So, but I think that knowing these things would help a lot of people not personalize that type of attack or that type of love. And, you know, and we'll go into a little bit later of how to, you know, some possible solutions. Now, I will say, according to the doctor, there's really not a lot of solutions that involve that person who's the narcissist changing. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
And not to rain on anybody parade, but it's oftentimes with narcissists, unless they're consistently in therapy. When I say consistently, I mean like going a couple of times a week.
3-4 times a week.
3 or 4 times a week. There's little to no hope, right, of them changing their behavior, right? Now, it doesn't mean that, you know, if you're in a relationship with narcissists, whether it's romantic or familial, whatever the case might be, that you just be in those relations, a parent, right? Because we're not just talking about partners, parents, siblings, right? Not saying that you could just cut those relationships off, but it's important, again, to know these things and also to know how to respond to these behaviors, right? So you can take care of yourself if you do decide to maintain a relationship with someone who is a narcissist, okay?
Right. Or if you're stuck, like, if it's your boss?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if it's your dad, your mom? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know, like, so some of these situations are not as easy. And even if you are like married, like, and you guys got children and years and culture and you got all these, you know, religion keeps people staying in these situations. You know what I'm saying? So, so it's not always ideal for someone to leave. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, and we'll talk about that a little later, but like, that would be the best thing. But if you cannot, then we could talk about some of those, you know, possible solutions. But yeah. So we talked about admiration, validation, hypersensitivity, rage. What else? You got another one?
They're completely inflexible, very rigid. Very rigid in their thinking, their expectations, right? And so there's no give. There's no give. It either has to be their way or the highway. If it ain't their way, there is no other way. Okay? So compromise goes out the window unless they're doing it to get something from you. Oh yeah. Right? Because they real tricky. Okay?
Master manipulators.
Manipulators, another sign. But yeah, very, very rigid. It's either the way that I want it, my way or the highway, right? My way or no way. Okay. And it could be from about the smallest things to the biggest things, right? And again, it goes back to that need for validation, because if it's my way, then I'm right.
And control.
And in control.
Right.
Exactly.
If it's my way, then I'm safe.
Absolutely.
Right? Because it's about the need to control is about the need to feel safe. Indeed. Because they didn't get that. You know, in their childhood. And we can talk about that a little bit later of how, like, you know, how it develops, you know, narcissism or whatever. But yeah, for sure.
So very rigid, very inflexible, not willing to bend, not willing to compromise, and really just steadfast on having things the way that they want them, regardless of who is affected by that. And whatever sacrifices other people are willing to make, they could care less. Yeah.
And then that goes into the manipulation, and like really good manipulators. Like so, like we didn't talk about. Well, I don't want to say all of them, but the manipulation piece is about control. Once again,
all goes back to control.
All goes back to control.
Yeah, it's really about the ego. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it really is. The ego is like, hello. But yeah, master manipulators really good, and they're really good with the master manipulation because they're really good with narcissists aren't known for empathy, right? They lack empathy, which is another sign, but they have empathy. They use empathy. They understand empathy. Yeah. Because they'll use it to get what they want. You know what I'm saying? So I think Dr. Ramani gave example of how narcissists can find out that, let's say, someone, Jeff, he recently, lost, his father recently passed away. They might hear this in a conversation, right? The narcissist would be the one that goes to Jeff because they heard Jeff, his father passed away, and then they'll approach Jeff, not really because they care that his father passed away, but they'll use that information because they want something from Jeff. Like, I heard that your father passed away, and I understand that because this and such happened to me, and blah, 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 blah. And they use that to kind of like maneuver and get in.
Yeah, to align.
Right, for whatever that transaction that they may want in the future or the present, but it's all kind of calculated. You know what I'm saying?
It's yes,
right?
Exactly.
And and the reason why they can do that is because they another part of narcissism is that they're very charming, very charismatic. You know what I'm saying? So they could be, they could be the life of the party, or they could be that executive boss, you know what I'm saying, that, has all of the things that you kind of like see when you're scrolling on Instagram, you know what I'm saying, or whatever social platform. And, that whole lifestyle thing that people are kind of like chasing, they could be that big boss, you know what I mean? That a lot of people love. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. But the inside part of what's really happening within the household and those intimate relationships is a lot different than how they portray, to employees or whoever, is around. But
they tend to look real good on paper.
Yeah, right.
Look real good on paper, right? Yeah. But underneath the surface, okay, just rotten.
Say rotten.
My bad.
You having a flashback?
Having a flashback.
And it's really, don't say rotten. I know you're being facetious, but it's really like when you really understand where narcissism comes from, it's really sad. You know what I mean?
It is.
It's sad, because, we'll talk about some of that, but it's like, damn, you just got to send people love and prayers. Yeah. And you have to love yourself enough to go. Yeah. Or extreme protection. You know what I'm saying? Indeed. And we'll talk about some of those solutions in a little bit. But,
yeah, I think we covered all the signs, right? The sense of entitlement, right?
We can run through them. Sense of entitlement. So here are the 10 signs. So a sense of entitlement, like they're supposed to get their way. They're supposed to get their way. Okay. Virginia said, "Preach." Hello. Second sign, they're always a victim. Okay. They blame everybody for everything and never take accountability. Right. They lack empathy unless they're using empathy for gain, right? So to align with you with the intent of getting something in return. Okay? Love is transactional,
right? Very inflexible, very rigid. So it's my way or the highway, my way or no way. They make you feel like you're always walking on eggshells. So don't make any mistakes. Don't make any mistakes, okay? Because they're liable to blow up. The grandiosity, so just everything big personality, big head, big bag. I don't know.
Big suits,
just all the things, just big, everything.
Big cars,
right? Just real grandiose, yes.
But grandiosity,
yeah. The seeking of admiration and validation, right? The rage, right? To the point of just complete insanity. Like why are you so upset?
Yeah.
Okay. It ain't even that serious.
So angry that happened.
Very angry.
You know.
And then manipulators, very exploitive, and the hypersensitivity. All right. So those are the 10 signs. Okay. Yep. 10 signs that you are dating a narcissist. All right. So now that we've given y'all the bad news, or maybe it's good news, because being informed is good news.
That's right.
Right. Because what they say, when you know better, you do better.
There you go.
Right.
The more you know better.
The more you know, the more you grow.
And if you out in these streets, you know what I'm saying, dating and looking for partners and all of that, and you on them little apps and stuff, you need to be on the lookout. Yeah. Definitely. Because what she say, 1 in 5 people.
1 in 5.
Are narcissists.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, that's pretty deep, man.
Yeah. And she said that it's even higher probably in like places like California.
Oh, in New York.
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
So instead of 20%, 1 in 5, it would be more like 1 in 4.
Oh, yeah. She
25%.
Said, 25%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's wild. Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that means, listen, you got 5 friends. One of them.
Could be.
Could be. Could be not.
Could be. Could be not. I don't want it. I don't want it.
So what tips do we have? What tips? Come on, let's shed some light, give some hope.
Some hope. Yeah. Well, okay, so I'll say one tip is establishing boundaries. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Establishing boundaries with that person. Mm-hmm. Because, so the doctor gave us an acronym called DEEP.
Yeah.
Right? DEEP. Mm-hmm. And she says, don't defend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Because they want the fight.
They want the fight. Okay? Don't engage. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right?
So short answers. Yes. No. For real. Short answers. Yes. No. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep it short. Don't explain.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is like kind of like with the whole arguing thing, because if you try to explain yourself, defend yourself, if you engage in that conversation, it is going to go
left.
Always.
All the way left.
And then it will get bigger and bigger and explode. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that's DEE. And then the P is...
Don't personalize it.
Don't personalize.
Don't personalize it. Because it's not personal at all. At all. And I think, one of the reasons why the personalize is so hard, to not do, it's challenging because narcissists, they know how to pick their prey. Right? They know how to pick their prey. They pick.
If you easy game.
You're it's just so I'll use the term agreeable. Nothing wrong with being agreeable. My baby, she's so agreeable. I told her that the other day. I was like, "You're so agreeable." Nothing wrong with being agreeable, but they know how to pick them. Okay, they know how to pick their prey, and usually they pick people who are usually very, very sensitive to their needs or to pleasing, right? And so when that's the way that we sometimes show up in relationships, we tend to personalize and think that there's something that I need to do to make this better.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There's something that I think Dr. Ravani said that athletes, right, tend to, stay in narcissistic relationships because the athlete has a tendency to want to work hard to get things done, to get the goal accomplished, right? And there's almost no limit, right, to what they're willing to do to make something work. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that too is about personalizing it, right? Because if something's wrong here, I need to do something to make this right, to fix it. Fix it.
And so like athletes, and if you're a doer, or a partner pleaser, people pleaser, you know what I'm saying? A fixer.
Yeah.
Because like you said, those same characteristics, like if you're used to doing and getting results, if you're the type of person that's used to
solving problems,
fixing everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy for you to get involved with a narcissist because at the end of the day, you just feel like if I just do this one thing, if I just do that right there, if I can just do, and then once you do it, that's not it, right? And then you're like, okay, well, maybe I should have did it like this, and I should have did it like this, and then I can fix this, and I can fix this. If you're that type person, that, I mean, that's just the sweet. That's the sweet spot for a narcissist. You know what I mean? Because you just feel like you can fix it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, from how she explained, the doctor explained, is that there is no fixing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very rare, very rare for a narcissist to change.
She called him a unicorn. She said if one was able to change, they would be a unicorn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Yeah.
So it's either like you're gonna end that relationship, and if you can't end it, then you're gonna have to put those boundaries. Bless you. You're gonna have to put those boundaries in place, and you're gonna have to practice deep.
Yeah.
Don't defend, don't engage, don't explain, don't personalize.
Yeah.
And then she said that you will ultimately have to find an outlet for yourself.
Yeah.
Whether you develop a hobby or you spend time with your friends and family. Now, and she said also that's if you're with the narcissist who isn't controlling in a sense where they don't even want you to go out on your own and do anything because they're so insecure.
The malignant.
Right. So she talks about classic narcissism and then malignant narcissism, and the malignant narcissist is a little more what she call it?
A little bit more controlling. I mean, more.
But it's like a mean type. Because they're a little more mean. Yeah. They're way more controlling. They're way more jealous. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like that, more of a mean streak in that malignant narcissist. So it's like there's different levels to narcissism, which I did not know. Yeah. Right. And so, I mean, that's like, there ain't it ain't no changing. Yeah. It's not. You're going to have to, and she says you need to practice acceptance. Radical acceptance. And what's radical acceptance?
I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's really just accepting, right, the fact that this is not going to change. This person is not going to change. And if I'm choosing to stay here, how will I make sure that I'm taking care of myself, right? Yeah. So like you said, deep, practicing that, making sure you're setting your boundaries, making sure you have an outlet. But essentially, it's making a decision to accept things just as they are, right? That is what it looks like to practice radical acceptance. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah, my allergies. Allergies are acting up. Yeah.
And I think it's like key to how Lewis gave an example. So the host on that show, Lewis, he talks about a couple of his exes that were narcissists. Mm-hmm. And one thing that he brought up was like, so like he's an athlete. He was an athlete. Pro athlete, and he mentioned how at one point he was training really, really hard for many years to make this I guess it was like an Olympic team or something. He finally got accepted, got the email, like he was in tears, was like, because he was so happy, he had worked so hard for this. He told his girlfriend, and her response was not one of, oh yay, you did this, but it immediately reflected back to her. Mm-hmm. And she was concerned that because of this new position or fame that he might receive, that he would be on the road a lot away from her, and there would be a lot of girls basically like in admiration of him, and how basically like she was not excited about this opportunity for him. It kind of seemed like it was a threat to her and their relationship.
Right.
And that's another key thing of a narcissist, because they don't have control of that. Mm-hmm. So they want to control it and then kind of keep you in this box that you can't go out of.
Yeah.
Because it makes them insecure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't shine too bright because you might shine
you
brighter
can't
than
shine
them.
at all.
Yeah, right.
You
know
can't
what I mean?
shine at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's but that's all insecurity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so what might be good to highlight too is, how do you know when you're not with a narcissist?
Silly.
Right?
So you want to talk about the Michelangelo effect?
I want to talk about the Michelangelo effect.
We just learned about, or had you heard about it before?
I've never heard about the
me
Michelangelo
neither.
effect
So,
before.
What is the Michelangelo effect?
So the Michelangelo effect, if you have this in your relationship, hold on tight,
baby.
Okay? Because you got a good
Don't
one.
let them go.
Don't let them go, right? So the Michelangelo effect essentially is when you can see the greatness in your partner and you encourage that greatness.
Yes.
Right? You see the masterpiece in them.
The masterpiece.
Right?
Yes.
And you affirm them, you get excited about their opportunities. You encourage them to pursue their dreams, even if it means that you guys will spend time apart, right? You are their number one fan. They are your number one fan, okay? And there's nothing that they won't support you in doing. Definitely, especially if it's for having to do with what you desire to do and what you're good at doing and what you're wanting to get better at doing, right? That is the Michelangelo effect.
Yeah, for example, he gave an example of like let's say your baby can cook really well and they make this bomb cupcake or whatever it is, and you eat it and you're like, oh, this is so good. Have you ever thought of creating a company where you sell cupcakes? It's like you just want to see them at their best.
Yeah.
And it's like not only do you want to see them at their best, but you want to help them get there. In a real way, not a superficial way.
Yeah, indeed. And so, and the sad reality is a lot of relationships do lack this effect, right? The Michelangelo effect, because either we're competing with each other or trying not to have somebody outshine us or whatever the case might be. And that's a big indication of insecurity, right? Going back to one of the signs of dealing with a narcissist. So you want that Michelangelo effect. You want your baby to be like, yo, you can do whatever. Right. You can do it. And I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. Right.
And it could be like, I know that because you're going to take on this new task that we might not see each other as much.
Right.
But I'm down and let's see how we can make it work.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not this whole thing of making you feel guilty or shameful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
for
you
growing.
want to.
Yeah. You want to grow. Yeah.
You got to grow together.
Absolutely.
If you want to be together, you know, if you want that everlasting, you know, relationship, if it's supposed to be everlasting. Not all relationships are supposed to be everlasting. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, if y'all got a good thing going on, that's what you want.
That's what you
want.
That
the
Michelangelo. You want that Michelangelo. couple of other things you want to look for, right? So, empathy, right? Empathy.
Please.
That is not contingent, okay, on you doing whatever they want you to do. Just empathy, okay? Being able to put yourselves in each other's shoes, you know, very, very, very important. And it's a sign that you're not with a narcissist if you two are able to do that for each other. Compassion, and also agreeableness, right?
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing, baby. It's a good thing. All right. So those are the 4 things that you want in your relationship, right? Okay. Which one's your favorite of the 4? Which one? Empathy, Michelangelo, effect, compassion. What do you think would be, if you had to pick one, what's most important?
What's the most important? I would say Michelangelo effect.
I would say so too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that encompasses all of them.
It does. Because
Right?
you need empathy, you need compassion.
Absolutely.
And the agreeable.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
in a way. Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. I would go with that one.
Yeah.
So, we also want to remind y'all to, what's the number, baby?
Come on.
If you are looking for the Michelangelo effect.
Yes.
In another being, you know what I'm saying, LGBTQ community being, we want you to text 410-645-0777.
What they texting to?
Text love.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
To 410-645-0777. Okay? Because like we said in previous episodes, and make sure you catch up on all the episodes, and we are working on, you know, the editing and the uploading and getting all that stuff together. It's coming, okay?
Yeah, it's coming. Bear with us.
But you can check all the episodes on IG, and we have a few that are on our YouTube channel. But like we said, we're going to be doing some matchmaking, having some events, you know, connecting folks. And that's one aspect, would be the love aspect. So make sure you text love to 410-645-0777. And then we'll have other opportunities when we get into our In Her Wealth Circle. You know, we'll have you, you know, you can text about that when we have our events for entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and some opportunities like that. So you might as well go ahead and text. What should they text to that number?
Text wealth to 410-645-0777 if you're interested in learning more about financial literacy and entrepreneurship.
And building that wealth, baby.
Hello.
So,
Hello.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Thank you so very much.
It's been another successful episode of LoveHers 808 Podcast. My name is Ms. And this is
Lordine
beautiful
Jean-Francois.
And hey man, thanks for joining us. Come back next week and we'll let you know what day it will be.
And this is my fault, y'all. I'll take responsibility, okay? But it's
for the Mondays.
For the Mondays, yeah. We're gonna work it out. We're gonna work it out.
Right. We got schedules and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're both in mentorships, so some of the days are like, you know, we have coaching sessions and stuff like that. So
yeah, sounds good.
We gonna work it out though. We gonna find a good day.
Yeah. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace and we out.
Take care. Bye.